Hey guys, this is Bruce, and today we're talking about a system engineering position in Boulder, Colorado. Before we start, you should know that I have a course if you're interested in getting into cybersecurity and you're wanting to make upwards of 6 figures. I'm going to tell you how I've been able to do it, like what I put on my resume, like walk you through what I've done over all these years, because I've been doing this for a while. Haven't been making 6 figures for, the whole 20 years I've been doing this, but I've had to build it up over time. And I also have another course about how I've been able to work remotely over the last 5 years or so. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description below. I'll also put it in the text box that I'll have appear here, right here. There you go. It's right there. It's going to be scrolling across. There it is right there if you're interested in that. Okay, so, and I'll have other courses that I'll put out over time about risk management framework and becoming an information system security officer and like a practical guide and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's get into this. So we're talking about a system engineering position. Now you should know I am not a system engineer. I've never been a system engineer. I've worked with many system engineers over the years. I have a very solid idea of how to interact with them as a security guy. But all I'm going to do for you is show you, is kind of just tell you this job's out there, so that if there's an actual professional who typed this into Google and was looking for a system engineering job, they can contact these people. Even if it's a year later, you should go ahead and contact them because they might still have a position open or a new position open or something like that. So this is for you, but also it's to help noobs who are trying to get into the IT or system engineering career field, or cybersecurity, system security engineering field, and then show them what is the market looking for, what are companies looking for, how does this kind of stuff work. That's why I do these videos. And this actually came from a recruiter. That's how they find people, because they constantly have turnover, people coming in and out of positions. So they actually need a whole nother technical recruiting agency to constantly kind of harvest people and bring them in. That's how this kind of works. All right, let's get into this. I talked enough. We're talking about system engineering in Boulder, Colorado, and they require you to have a top secret clearance is required. What you'll do, let's just jump into what you'll do, and then we'll talk about what you'll need. I won't read all of these. I'll just kind of stay with the highlights here. Let's start with number 1. Provide systems engineering leadership for technical teams to develop segment, element, and system specifications. So a lot of times system engineers, they're not the person who's hands-on. They're not the actual engineer putting stuff together. The ones that I have worked with have been kind of the orchestrators. They're kind of the guys who know the process of system engineering. There's like a system development life cycle that they have to fill. They're involved with the acquisition, and that means like purchasing and knowing what's our budget and what equipment do we need, and then they're working directly with other actual engineers who are putting the systems together and stuff. And in some cases, they are there actually putting the system together. It just depends on what's going on, and that's what we're going to figure out here, what they actually want. But it sounds like you're providing leadership of technical teams. So this is the role that they're talking. It's not like the person who's putting stuff together, they're the person who's orchestrating and leading them in the direction to get everything together. All right, so they're going to develop the DOOR framework, the DOORS framework. I don't know what DOOR, that's some kind of acronym. DOORS. If you know what that is, put it in the description below. The DOORS framework to properly allocate, trace, and verify requirements and segment elements of the subsystem levels through all phases. It sounds like this is kind of like a system development lifecycle type thing where you're going through allocate and trace. That means like buying, purchasing, going through the process, because there's requirements for purchasing items on a system you need. So I imagine that's what DOORS is. I've actually heard of DOORS before. I've worked on a system that had that program of purchasing. Anyway, I don't know what it is. Let's keep going. You're also going to plan and manage the cost, technical and cost associated with the effort. See, you're involved with the budget and stuff. You're going to interact with multiple subject matter experts to develop the requirements, allocation, analysis, and verification of artifacts. So you're going to do a lot of documentation. Like you're working with the guys who's the system engineers, the system administrators, the actual engineers who are putting the system together. You're working with them. They're subject matter experts that know all the technical in the weeds stuff. Then you might be talking to system security guys. You might be talking to privacy guys if there's data that needs privacy. You're going to be talking about upper level management and acquisitions. That's usually a whole different team. You're pulling all this stuff together to make sure the system gets built in a timely fashion, because you need timelines too. So you might be working with a program manager. There's just many different subject matter experts you're going to be pulling together and making sure that your focus is, can we get the system to work in under budget and on time with requirements for functionality. That's kind of your focus as a system engineer. From my experience of working with those guys, I worked a lot with them. Okay, so interface with the support and programs chief system engineer. See, that's another person you're going to be working with. Mentor other system engineers assigned to this team. So this is looking like a more of a leadership type position. Prepare and give presentations to peers and management and customers. That's a big one. You're going to be doing lots of meetings. Their whole business is based on meetings and presentations and PowerPoint and putting papers together, documenting, and then making sure everybody understands and on the same page and things like that. You're going to maintain a regular and predictable work schedule. You're going to establish and maintain effective working relationships within the department, SBU, sensitive but unclassified data, and the company. You're going to interact appropriately with others in order to maintain a positive conduct. Okay, let's go to what you'll need. You need a BS degree. These guys are normally, you really have to have a degree to do system engineering. And I know it's the federal government, like they don't mess around with that. You really have to have a degree for this. Like it's not like computer security or like system administration where you might have some jobs where you don't necessarily need a degree. They might say, well, we want you to have X amount of years and a CISSP, X amount of years and a security plus, and then later on get your degree. You don't need a degree. If you have 18 years of experience, you don't need a degree. Usually what I've noticed is system engineers usually have to have some sort of degree, and it's usually upper level degrees. They usually have like a master's degree, actually. But yeah, bachelor's degree or higher engineering or related fields, 5 years or more related experience. Each higher level degree, master's or PhD, master's degree or PhD may substitute 2 years of experience, 2 years of related experience. So they're giving you a little bit of, but you have to have a degree usually with system engineering. Because the thing is, you're the centerpiece for getting the system done. So they are relying on you to really get it done and make it work on time, under budget, and it has to work properly within requirements set forth by the federal government. And then there's requirements set forth by the ops team. If you're working with the operations, they need to have data that comes in at a certain amount of speed, or like there's so many different things that they're relying on you as a system engineer that it's unlike just computer security. Because just when you're a cybersecurity guy, your focus is you're really focused on like one thing, and that's just security, right? So in a lot of ways it's easier, in my opinion. Where system engineering, they have to have this huge view of the system as a whole. That huge view includes security, it includes operations, it includes acquisitions, it includes, like me as a cyber security guy, as an information system security guy, I don't worry about the budget. Like that's not all I need to know is that it got done, right? I don't control the money. I don't have no say so in how much money they spend. That's not, I just need to know that this security feature is there, right? That's all I need to know. And then that they did spend the money to get that security feature there. Of course, that's relevant. But I don't know how much money they spent on it. I don't know. Like, I just know that it's done, But these guys, these system engineer guys, they have to know all this stuff, and they have to interface with way more people than I do as a security guy. All right. So you also required to have a current top secret clearance, SCI. Security clearance is required. Minimum of 4 years. Required management experience working with doors, environment, framework, specification, structure, ICD structure. Yeah, So I have no idea what that is. I've heard of it. I remember it's like some kind of a government program that's associated with acquisitions, and I think I want to say it's a database for system development lifecycle. I think that's what Doors is. Hold on a second. Let's just research what it is real quick. I'm just gonna bring it up. What Doors is. Doors system development lifecycle. Isn't that what it was? Doors family rational. What is Doors? Okay, maybe it's not. Distributed object oriented requirement system. Is that what we're talking about? Let's Doors system engineering. All right, there's like multiple acronyms for Doors, so I'm not quite sure. So I might have to just go ahead and keep going here. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think this is it right here. Requirements engineering Doors, a tool to manage requirements. Yep. That's what it is right there. System engineers and managers need the right instruments to assist them with the requirement management process. Yeah, that sounds familiar. A variety of tools currently exist. This chapter, okay. Doors is some kind of it's dynamic object oriented requirements system. So it tracks the requirements of a given system as you're developing a system. Is a leading requirements management tool used by tens of thousands of engineers around the world. So I remember working with an aerospace place that would always talk about Doors this and Doors. I got to put it in Doors. We got to make sure the Doors. I don't know if it was I never personally worked with it. I just know that those engineers, as they talked about it a lot, they mentioned it. Just like when I'm doing my system security engineering stuff, I mentioned a database program like EMAS or one of these other ones out there where it's tracking my requirements, but they have their own thing, then that's called Doors. Anyway, okay. All right, got sidetracked there. Let's just keep going. Demonstrate the ability to write effective and viable requirements. Yep, lots of writing. Demonstrate experience in systems engineering process, including requirements development, requirement allocation, change management, verification, validation. Yeah, see, their scope is way bigger. I mean, they're doing lots of change management stuff. I might be a part of that process, but these guys, their scope is way bigger. Their job is way bigger because they have to have the whole system in their head and everything that goes with it. Demonstrate experience leading multidisciplinary teams, including meeting cost schedules, and a lot of times system engineering ends up being a leadership position because they're leading the people who are developing the system. They have to meet the requirements and they put that in Doors or whatever, and then they got to work with people like me, a security guy, to say, okay, I've looked at all the security controls, what else can we do? And I have my own timeline. The operations people have their own timeline. The users, they have to work with the users and make sure the usability of the system is still effective after we put our security features on it. There's just so many things that the system engineer has to keep track of, and security is one slice of that. So it's usually a leadership position. Superb presentation skills with experience to senior decision making and technical audience. Working conditions. I don't know what they mean by that. It's kind of working conditions. I think that's a truncated sentence there because that doesn't. Or maybe this is supposed to be all of this stuff is under it. The working conditions are: work is preferred in an office, laboratory, production floor, clean room, outdoor, remote research environment. May occasionally work in production work centers where you're wearing protective equipment and so they're around the actual system, and sometimes that's why they're mentioning the protective gear and stuff. May access other facilities and travel local commute between Ball campuses. Yep, so there's the job right there. I'm gonna put this below. If you're interested in this job, just go ahead and check the description below so you can capture this or send them. Remember, if you're seeing this a year, 2 years later, Ball or whoever it is that it's in Boulder, Colorado, that's working with Ball and or federal government, whatever that might be, because I don't know for sure. They just kind of mentioned in here once, but whatever that might be. If you're seeing this 2 years later, you know you don't have to. No need to worry. Apply for it anyway. If you feel like you could do all this stuff, apply for it anyway. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, these jobs are constantly needing people in and out. There's people constantly coming in and out of the position. And I can tell you, if this is who I think it is, this is a great company to work for. I've worked for them before. Ball, I'm assuming it's Ball. Great company, great benefits. They're long term. They're old school with how they treat people, and that's really good. I think they're on like the top 100 best companies to work for. I worked for them, man. They were incredible. It was a great experience. I was just a contractor too. Their employees were very well taken care of. That's it, guys, for this one. Take care. Check us out next week for, it might even be tomorrow. I release these on weekends when I'm off, Saturday and Sunday, or sometimes late in the evening when I'm off. So I'll release another one. Just be waiting for it. Just make sure you like and subscribe this video, and then you'll see another one soon. See you guys later.